Hey, this is Vladimir the Batamir. I'm trying something different. I'm using my cell phone here to record myself down where I have my printer set up, and so I'm just using my back-facing camera just to say hello and show that it's me again. But I'm actually going to switch around and show you here in my basement what I got set up going on. So right now I have my Elegoo Mars 2 running a print. It's got about 21 minutes left on whatever it's doing. And so you can see here on the LCD screen what it's showing is whatever current layer it's printing. And so how this printer works is there is a single motor that moves this metal plate up and down along the vertical axis, and it kind of dips it into a plastic vat which is full of the photopolymer resin, which I have over here. This is my 1,000-gram bottle of standard photopolymer resin, and actually this is the translucent kind, which I think looks particularly cool. So that goes into that, and then what you might be able to see here is the bulk of the printer. So this entire black box is mostly the UV light. And then, so the UV light shines kind of up from the bottom through the resin vat. And I'll actually pull an empty one here that I have so I can kind of show you what it looks like. Excuse the clattering. Yeah, here we go. So this is what it looks like. So, it looks like almost like a picture frame with a piece of clear plastic at the bottom. And so that sits on top of the UV light, and then you pour resin into that. So the resin sits on top of essentially sheeted clear plastic with a UV lamp underneath it. And sandwiched between the UV lamp and that thin layer of plastic is a very thin LCD screen. And I have a replacement one here because I've actually scratched my current one. This is also a thing that can easily break, and it's actually one of the first parts that I broke in this printer that I had, and it kind of knocked me out from printing for about a month while I waited for a replacement part to come in the mail. But this is delicate, and you can do things like I did where you accidentally scratch it, or what actually happened to me when I had to replace it was I was scraping sort of a failed print off the resin tank and cut a little hole in this plastic. And so then when I poured my resin in, the resin leaked through the hole, and then when the UV light shone on it, it cured right to the LCD screen. And so then when the build plate came down to press down and have a layer cured to it, it actually cracked the entire business and broke my LCD screen. So don't do that. There's two types of scrapers that you'll get for clearing your materials. This is a little plastic one. Always use this one with a resin tank. Never use the metal one. That's what I did. Don't be like me. Don't be a dummy. Don't bore holes in your resin tank. And also, a good idea is to regularly clear out your resin tank after each print. So, take it out from your printer, pour out the excess resin. There's actually a built-in function at least on the Elegoo Mars 2, where you can run just a blast of UV light that kind of cures any free floating particles and makes it kind of very easy to just peel out a layer of cured resin that gets rid of any sort of bits that are floating about. And so you don't have to rely as much on sort of this scraper. So I think that's sort of it for the printer itself. I guess the only other thing to explain is that, you know, it's essentially making is a stalactite. And so the build plate dips down into the resin. The UV light shines through the mask created by the LCD screen. And then, ideally, if everything goes well, the layer of now cured resin sticks to your build plate. The build plate moves up and pulls it out of the resin tank, and it actually pulls it off of the plastic bottom. So you'll sometimes hear a little like peeling noise as the build plate moves up, and that's actually peeling it off the plastic, and then it sticks it down again and cures the next layer. So that's what's going on here. The other thing that I sprung for, because I happened to have the money at the time, and I heard that it helped make things cleaner in terms of, you know, not splashing stuff everywhere, is I bought a I'll turn the camera here just to show this. This is a cure and wash station by Elegoo, and I think the printer was like $200 at the time I bought it, and this was like $150, and there was some deal on Amazon where I like got $30 off it or something. But what this is it's a motor sitting here, and there are two magnets here, and those magnets hook up to, I don't know if it will show up here, a little like propeller in this bottle. And so what it does is it runs a little motor and kind of stirs up whatever solution you have in here. And so for cleaning just sort of standard photopolymer resin, I use isopropyl alcohol, which is kind of noxious stuff. So too is technically the resin, but it's really the isopropyl alcohol that bothers me the most. So I have a respirator that I always wear when I am unloading prints from the printer, or really doing any sort of cleaning stuff with the isopropyl alcohol. Now, you can get other kinds of resin that just you can technically clean with water. Now, that doesn't mean that you can clean it in the sink, because the resin is still toxic and shouldn't go in standard plumbing. It just means that you could fill your tub with water, which won't generate a ton of fumes like isopropyl alcohol will. Also, isopropyl alcohol is highly flammable, so always keep it sealed. Don't have it near, sparking electrical equipment or open flames. I always make sure when I'm done with everything to come over to my surge strip and turn it off. So, there's no chance of like sparks coming out and getting in the isopropyl alcohol and causing a big fire. So after I use the isopropyl alcohol to clean a print, I can actually then just switch the modes on this station. And so the other thing it does is it has this column here of little UV LED bulbs. And so when you pull a print out of your printer, It's actually not technically fully cured. It's just cured enough that it's sort of structurally stable enough for you to peel it off the build plate, but there's still sort of a whole bunch of uncured resin goop all over it, and that's why you clean it with the isopropyl alcohol. But also you want to further solidify the print so it's less fragile. And so that's where this printing and curing light station comes in, is that sort of the final touch to harden the print. Now, you don't really need this $150 machine. You could just get like a big tub and fill it with either isopropyl alcohol and go at your prints with an old toothbrush in a very well ventilated space. And then if you live in an area where there's sunlight, hopefully, you could just bring your prints outside into the sunlight, and the natural UV light will do all the hardening for you. You don't need these lights. I live in New England. Right now it's November, so my supply of UV light is rapidly diminishing, so this is coming in very useful. And again, I like to have just all my workstation all together, so that's why it's nice to have this just vat of isopropyl alcohol that I can set on the wash station, set it to wash for like 5 minutes or something, and then I can go off and do something else. I don't have to be sitting there with a toothbrush, carefully brushing my prints. I guess the other thing that I'll mention, as long as I'm recording, and we're sort of nearing the end on this, is some other important pieces that you will have to buy regularly are paper towels. You will spill, you will make a mess, so that's sort of a unseen cost of doing any of this stuff, as you need to have stuff to clean up your mess. Along with these, you need to use the isopropyl alcohol to clean up any resin that you spill, clean it off your hands. And then, speaking of hands, you want to make sure, along with your respirator to protect your lungs and stuff, you also want to go get yourself a good supply of nitrile gloves. I just went and got 100 pairs of nitrile gloves in the painting section at Walmart for like $10. But this is to protect your skin. The resin is certainly an irritant. It irritates my hands. Probably also toxic. I don't know if it's cancer causing, but I wouldn't be surprised. So better to be safe. Protect your hands. Wear gloves when you are, like removing your prints out of the printer, cleaning them, cleaning up spills, working with the isopropyl alcohol. Even if there isn't resin in the isopropyl alcohol, it dries out your hands, removes all the oils from them, so you can get like cracking and bleeding. So just protect your hands, wear gloves. But that is really my setup. So I'll go ahead back here and just say thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions, suggestions, or if you are watching these videos, please leave a comment. And thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.